They're all watching you get ready, Dad, and like you haven't even started the show. There's like 100 people right now watching you, like not be prepared to start the show. What are you doing? Hello. Okay, you ready?
I'm just in a different location. I got to get ready here.
It's Memorial Day. We got a big show. We got a huge guest, and you're not ready to start the show. The intro.
I'm ready to start.
All right. Do you want to? Okay. So go ahead. Start the show. We already started. Hi guys. Hi everybody.
Good morning, Radio Boomers Live listeners around the world. Good morning to our eZWay family, and good morning to the superstar guest of the show, Eric Zuley. Eric, are you ready to rock and roll?
Well, I'm ready to rock and roll. Are you? All right. So happy Memorial Day. I mean,
location. I just had to readjust a few things.
So honestly, guys, this isn't really a happy day, but people say happy Memorial Day, so we'll kind of like leave it at that. But
well, you say a meaningful. You could say have a meaningful.
It's a meaningful Memorial Day. I like that. If you guys like that, then post your comments. It's a meaningful Memorial Day. There's Wendy. Good morning, Wendy. There's Joe. And then guys, don't forget to press the share button, like and comment. You know how we roll, and then you can always subscribe to Better Vision for Children and RBLlive.com. So you subscribe to RBL Live, as we always say. And basically this show is brought to you by Better Vision for Children. That's what we're all about, is helping kids with their eyesight, the eye testing, being prepared. And you can subscribe to www.rbllive.com if you like the show. But here we go. It's time to rock and roll, and enjoy, guys. We'll be looking for your comments.
Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, otherwise known as RBL, a show that incorporates baby boomers and millennials' ideas and perspectives.
With the hottest news, reviews, and interviews, and guidance on the transition of brick and mortar to click and order. And now I'm proud to introduce former veteran, military police, and a member of Knights of Columbus, my dad, James Zuley.
And my son, chairman and CEO of eZWay Network, known as the Digital Dick Clark, Eric Zuley. You know who you are, and Eric, so much going on, literally by the day. There's so much going on. And you're doing a pretty good job keeping up. I like that. And I also like the fact that when you open up these new programs, you're trying to make it as user-friendly as possible. So you have a lot of instruction on how to move forward. That's good for us baby boomers,
Dad, I was just busting your Memorial Day. Anyway, you know where I was getting at. But
well, we want to say, people wonder, what do you say on Memorial Day? Well, you don't really say happy Memorial Day is giving honor to those who have passed away in military service and combat and so on.
We're honoring the fallen. I mean, honestly, we have to honor our fallen.
What you could say is have a meaningful and a safe Memorial Day. And there's cemeteries, veteran cemeteries around the world that are celebrating it.
In honor of Memorial Day, we're all prepared. We want to celebrate our veterans and all those that fought for us, and we appreciate all the families and everybody. If you served, we so appreciate you. My dad served for 2 years, and in honor of Memorial Day, we got this for you.
Well done.
We want to honor those that fought for us, and we so appreciate everybody, all of you guys, and thank you so much, and all the families that have gone through worrying about their fallen, and our prayers are with you. Our prayers are with all of you, and so thank you so much for those that.
And we have to remember a lot of these, when you see the films, the real films of Iwo Jima and all those areas, there's so many battles on D-Day. You're talking about young people. These are people 18, 19, 20 years old, many of them. So it's not like you're looking at a lot of people 50 years old out there.
Well, so today's show, yeah, Dad, you're exactly right. But today's show is about a special guest, and all of you guys that are tuned in, we want you to know as well that this is a very interactive live show. And I'm glad, Wendy, that you enjoyed that, and I'm glad that you're here, Jack. And so as the show goes on, you guys are able to comment, you guys are able to participate, you guys are able to join. And if you have any questions for our guests, if you have any questions for us, please remember that you can do that, and your comments will actually be right there on the bottom right of the screen. But today, Dad, we got a really awesome guest, and we got some great information, hot topics as usual. And please make sure that you follow and subscribe to our eZWay family Instagram. If you guys are not familiar with our community and our network, we specialize in getting you visibility, credibility, and notoriety, as well as authority, so you can close what you got going on. Our app is eZWay Interactive on Google Play or Apple Store, and we have the best pitch party imaginable, where you can connect with the best, relieve that stress, and beat all the rest. No, I'm kidding. So take a look at the scroll bar at the bottom if you want to get more involved with us. But it's time to go to Hot Topics. And if you guys are interested in doing a podcast like this that you're watching right now, and you like what you see, reach out to us at eZWaypromotions@gmail.com. And then we're going to get into Hot Topic time. So feel free to join along if you like anything that's on the show.
Welcome to eZWay Podcast. Do you have a podcast? Maybe you want to create one. Let eZWaypodcast.com make it a little easier on you and your guests. For only $99 a month, you can super boost your podcast, get more subscribers, advertisers, and manage everything all in one place with eZWay Network.
Get seen and heard the eZWay, get a larger reach, meet quality potential guests. You could be on Roku, Apple, Amazon, all mobile devices, and smart TVs streaming on eZWay TV. Our network helps you get advertisers and people wanting to pay you for an interview, as well as brand credibility and more social media followers. Try it free. Register to eZWaypodcast.com.
Topic time. So, look up, there's a lot of news. I'm just going to go over a few things briefly because I'm looking forward to our guests coming up. A lot of people aren't sure what actually to say on Memorial Day. And you could basically say have a meaningful Memorial Day, have a safe Memorial Day. And that's what it's about. It's about the members of the military service that are fallen in the line of duty. And there is celebration, and a lot of cemeteries. We have one out in Riverside where people, it's not that they're actually celebrating, they're giving, they're offering up their prayers and thoughts for these people that have fallen. So getting down in the news a little bit, a lot of you, there's a lot of auto race fans out there. Well, the Monaco Grand Prix is a big one, and people were really wondering who would take it, the big names or some newcomer. A lot of money goes into these cars, but who got it this time, guys, is Lando Norb. Okay, it was really a hectic race, and like I say, these people, there's years invested in this. So anyway, I give him credit. Lando took it. The 10 Commandments in Texas, they passed a bill where the 10 Commandments can be in every school. And Russia launches a big attack after the meeting with Trump. Big attack on Ukraine. A lot of strikes, but they hit civilian areas. They should go military to military. Russia has also expanded its military troops along the Finland border. People are a little concerned with that. U.S. Treasury announces that it plans to start winding down production of the penny. Well, why is that the penny is not used that much? Well, not really. It's the cost, guys. It's cost. You're talking about approximately 4 cents it costs to make 1 cent, which makes no sense. The nickel, basically, you're talking about fading that out, and because the nickel costs about 14 cents for production and distribution. So it looks like change is kind of going out the door. So there'd be a change in the change. How many times do you see people pulling out change anyway? While digital payments are increasing, it's unlikely that paper currency will completely be phased out anytime soon. No, the paper currency should be around for a while. No big talk about dropping it. The coins is coming up, but it's usually cards when you go to checkout stands and that. Usually credit cards, but you still see a little cash. That'll still be around. They're not going to get rid of cash. The U.S. is already they're planning on the cryptocurrency, particularly with the establishment of the static Bitcoin reserve and digital U.S. Stockpiles. Box went pretty good this weekend. Approximately 188 million. That's a pretty good weekend. TC, old Tom's out there at 62 years old and hit a home run with his Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, coming in about 44 million. But with that, Eric, I know we want to move on. The streams keep coming in. Like I said, I'm not in my normal studio, so getting set up this morning, but a lot of news. And I'll tell you what, in business, you really have to keep up with technology because you fall behind and then your competitors are keeping up and there you go. There's the music. I hear it.
Well, that means that music that you're listening to means it's time for our guest, guys. And first and foremost, as always, you can look for our guests on our eZWay interactive app. And in this particular case, you want to look for the AOA, the Angel Optimization Architect. So Andie Monet is a Fortune 550 level superstar, and so this is someone that you definitely want to connect with on our network if you want to learn from the show today. If you like what she has to say, and we're proud to bring her on and also celebrate her. We're celebrating her on the show as a new eZWay Platinum member. But Andie Monet has a humble beginning. She was abandoned. She was homeless, 16-year-old, to the world's leading business optimization architect. And she's an industry disruptor and a purpose-driven powerhouse. And she helps entrepreneurs, CEOs streamline their path to business, financial, and overall lifestyle freedom without adding costs, working more hours, or sacrificing wellness. So with 35 years behind her experience, 22, Dad, you want to start moving and we can hear all that background stuff. The 22 industries, she's, an advisor for like Fortune 500, Fortune 50 level companies, 12 in governments, and hundreds of small and medium-sized businesses. So there's a lot that you can learn from her. And if I kept going with her resume, we wouldn't have any time to have her on the show.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and bring her on to the show. Welcome to the show, Miss
Andie.
Monet.
Thanks for slowing down with us, Radio Boomer Livers. I used to say that with. That's
Proud
for
to
Andie.
excited, Dad. They're just gonna.
But no, it's a little faster paced now that Eric's on board. And welcome to the show. We're really looking forward to having you on. Are you keeping up with all this technology? I'm trying my best.
The older I get, the harder it gets.
We're talking about it rapidly changing, right? Now it's not even by the week or month, it's by the minute, the way things change. But,
always.
So, Andie, you could have been nuclear physicist. You could have been a doctor, a engineer, whatever. What kind of took you down the path? Because you went through your challenges, and now you're in a position where you're helping people. What? Because they say purpose is even better for longevity than exercise and diet, and you definitely have a purpose. So what took you down that path?
Oddly and funny enough, which you and I haven't talked about, I actually was a quantum physicist and engineer. Was my original degree. And
Andy, not to interrupt you, but just watch the screen too, because you got some of your fans in here, some of our fans, and you want to make sure you acknowledge them in there. Yeah.
Go Andy, boy. I give you a lot of support.
You got Joanne tuning all the way from Ireland. Wow.
Yeah, London too, I think, is here too.
Of course.
Global audience. Okay, not to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, of course. And as you can imagine, I can talk about this for a while, but I'll tell you two very, very quick stories. One was, when you're a child, a lot of adults always ask what you want to do when you grow up, and, ballerina or president or all of those things. And my answer was, I'm going to change the world, which of course I got a lot of laughs about that. Well, why do you think you're going to change the world? And how are you going to do it? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And, fast forward to, childhood trauma and being abandoned. But the goal to change the world never changed. And so now over the last few decades, it's not just about business. Yes, I work with businesses, I work with CEOs, I work with the top companies in the world, but also the people who really want to strive to do something better with their life. It's a choice to have what you think you want in life. Whether for me it was, I want to spend more time with my children. Well, I don't want somebody dictating what I can and can't do if they're sick, right?
Yeah.
And so the passion is really a few things, but one of them is I want to be the person I never had growing up, whether that's a parent or a mentor or, an advisor or a friend. I just didn't have what I think most people had growing up. And how do I be the light that some people just don't have?
Yeah.
So Andy, what is your, I want to start the show off really by giving people an insight on your story on who did you meet? What did you study? Did you go to school? What is your story in getting to the position that you're in now, owning so many things and having so many high-end clientele and a pipeline? Because we've had some good behind the scenes conversations, and a lot of the people that are watching right now, I bet would really want to be in your footsteps and learn to get to the Fortune 50 and 500 level playground or penthouse that you play at now.
What's really funny is I didn't realize. So confidence is not my weak point. I've always assumed that I would accomplish what I want to accomplish. And I didn't realize until my 30s, maybe even my 40s, that wasn't as common as I assumed it was. And so, I wish I had all the details, but I was I had Hollywood clients by the time I was 25. I was working with the federal government by the time I was 30. I was, in Fortune 500 companies at 35. And the biggest thing was just, what do I want and who do I need to talk to? How do I get there? And I know that sounds really easy and oversimplified, but it really, honestly and truly was the thing. And so, for example, Walmart, a client said, hey, I want to get into Walmart. I want to work with Walmart. I want to, Walmart and Costco that year. And I was like, all right, let's go talk to somebody. Let's get involved. And you just part of it is just, I learned this from somebody else, but everybody poops, right? Yeah. So whether you're president of a company or president of the United States or anybody else, we're all still human. And I think it's super common for people to lack confidence, just thinking that other people are unreachable, but everybody's reachable.
That's what I believe. But, you're the perfect example when, because I work with the foster kids, because a lot of them don't have that silver spoon and they have a tough situation. They think, well, how can I do anything? There's there's no backing. I have no parents or whatever. I don't know your full situation, but you were very resilient in what you did, and you persevered. The word perseverance comes to mind, and it pays off. You know, I've always said the way in which you think determines the outcome. The way in which you believe solidifies it. You know, and you're a typical example. You would be a good example. You have to come when I do some of these presentations for the foster people. You know.
Yeah, I'd love to. And I've done a lot of those types of talks, even across Africa as well, because, you know, there's so much poverty, and US is not the only person who has poverty, of course, but it's so distinctly disconnected from the rest of the world. And, you know, the thing with me is that's one of my biggest platforms is creating the mindset, creating the possibilities, creating the motivation for anybody. I mean, especially children, because in my mind, our children are going to be running the world. How do we give them the tools and the resources and the insight to want to make a difference and to even consider that things are possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then also I want to remind everybody that's watching right now and commenting and engaging, if you guys want to come on the show and you do want to ask Andie any questions, we are going to have a segment to be able to let you do that. And if you comment, I want to be on the show, or I want to be a on-camera audience member to ask questions, go ahead and post that comment. We'll bring you in so you can ask Andie a question. There are a couple people that are asking that, so I wanted to address that. But Andie, so we met on a panel with David Fagan and Isabel. They did the Top Talent Hollywood. I think that we knew of each other on social media. We kind of knew of what each other was doing. But we were in a panel together, and you were talking. It was a media panel, and you were talking about your binge TV network channel, Trailblazer TV. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about the influence effect that you're creating to make change.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I always think visibility is half the battle, right? If nobody knows about you, how are you going to make a difference? Whether you want to make money, or whether you want to bring a passion project, or whether you want to save the world, if nobody knows about you, how can you accomplish any of that? And so the Trailblazer channel is just one of those ways to do that, in combination with the AOA network. And whether or not, I mean, we have, for example, we have a cooking show, and that doesn't sound very life-changing, but it's actually an interview with people, but they get to cook first and then have the conversation while they're eating, and they're bringing, visibility and perspective and different ways to think of things and motivate, again, mindset, motivation, visibility. But those things are really, again, important, because how can you make a difference if nobody knows that you exist, or that your passion exists, or your purpose exists, or the way that you change the world? And yes, it may not be feeding children or empowering children, but even as a business consultant, if you think that you're really making a difference in the world, you need to show up. I mean, I'm naturally an introvert. I would much rather be home reading a book, not talking to anybody, but my purpose is more important than my introversion.
Well, there's a very popular book, most of you heard about it, called the Bible. And I think as far as getting out there, one of the verses is, if you have a lamp, you don't put it, or a light,
don't hide it under a basket.
Right. Don't put it under the table. Put your light on the top of the table, and that's what you're doing. You have to. Otherwise, like you said, people don't hear. And, I'm not going to mention names, but there's organizations I deal with that it's about, we don't advertise, we don't get it. So I said, this one gentleman, he was special forces, and he was doing a really good book for kids. And I said, you push your book at all online? He goes, oh, push my book. Why would I said, well, what about Mary and Mark? And he said, who's Mary and Mark? I said, that's 2 of the 50 million kids that are not going to hear about your really cool book about kids, because you don't get it out there. And
well, yeah. And again, related to that, as I so rudely interrupt, because that's my superpower for anybody that knows me, is you can't be a blessing to people, again, if they don't know that you exist. And I know I said that already, but I tell people, even especially with the children, is that I will be a blessing to people, and I will never meet them, whether it's a book or a podcast or or, you know, a TV episode or whatever. And again, that's so important that if you and I know I've said this multiple times, but if you honestly think that you have a message, you have to share it. I don't care what other thing you do except at least to share it.
100%. Yeah, it's selfish to share your mission and your message. And if people want to learn more about your mission and your message, Andie, they can actually go to your Wall of Fame profile, which I want to share right now on the show, so people know how to kind of get to what you have going on. So we actually just recently added the training center button, so people can learn about your training and what you're coaching, what you're teaching. I'm sure a lot of people want to learn from you. You have multiple different categories that people can search you for, but you can just click on connect, guys, if you want to actually connect with Andie, which also is on the web, but it's on the app too. So if you download the app, you can friend her, add her as a friend, and then shoot her a message if you want to reach out to Andie. Download the eZWay interactive app on Google Play or Apple Store. And this is not everybody gets on the Wall of Fame, Andie. I mean, you got to be inducted onto the eZWay Wall of Fame, because, you know, this is a almost like a Hollywood Walk of Fame, only online. You know, there's a lot of amazing superstars, from Lisa Nichols to her husband to Van DiCioso, who works with Steven Spielberg, or you've seen him multiple times, and then Greg Reed, and celebrities and influencers, and Bootsy Collins, and, you know, the creator of The Matrix, and Mark Victor Hansen. It goes on and on and on. There's a lot of amazing people on this thing, and now Andie Monet. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew how to get in and get with you. And thank you to a couple of people that are tuning in. I want to acknowledge a couple of people. Sama DC of Wisdom. I love it. Children are the root of global transformation. Love this. The inner child spirit within all humanity. Well said. Well said. And Matt J. Doyle, thank you so much for tuning in. And Guji Surungo. It seems like we got some international people. I'm happy to see Andie Monet and David Surungo from Kenya. Oh, that's what part of your Kenya project. I thank her for what she has been doing in Africa. Let's talk about that. What have you been doing in Africa?
Absolutely. Looking forward to that.
Oh, the list goes on and on and on. But so after all my life stories, after quantum physics and engineering, I did economic and financial development for international countries. And you can't build an economy if there's no employment. I mean, obviously there's physical safety, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and, you know, physical safety and warmth and love, but employment is really the next big thing. And I keep telling people, or I love to tell people, that employment is not just about money and income. It's keeping families together. It's keeping families from breaking up. It's bringing self-value. It's bringing, you know, a purpose to waking up in the morning, among other things. But it's more than just the money. And so I have employment projects in Kenya and Africa. I have TV production studios being built for millennials who want to be creative and get their voice and their creativity out there. We're building hotels and restaurants, more for employment, because all the money generated is going back to the economy. We've got affordable housing projects. I mean, I can go on and on.
The list goes on and on. And, you know, you probably noticed when you get to some of these areas, there's so many of these kids that are beyond talented, but it's never tapped, because people like you don't, you know, well, you go out there, but there's a lot of people, a lot of opportunities don't reach these kids, and it's so much wasted talent. They had one really remote area that somebody finally brought some cell phones and so on. And within a short amount of time, these kids were going around showing how they could lift up a large cargo container with one hand, you know, with the special effects. And they're doing all this cool stuff. And they say it's very unusual to learn it that fast, but it shows the talent is there, you know?
Well, one of the things I was saying is we're going to find another Elon Musk in the middle of nowhere in Africa, because one of the things we're doing is building computer labs in the villages to people who can't make it to the city or don't want to, or, you know, whatever the situation is, because that doesn't mean they can't have the resources too. And building, because it's not just computers, it's also creativity, it's eventually employment, it's, you know, there's so many things that computers can do.
Endless, yeah. I'm not going to ask you the big question, what do you think of AI, but it's definitely a game changer. I used to say it's like we have a bull by the horns with this AI, but I don't say that anymore because you know what's going to happen. You get a bull by the horn, it's going to throw you, and hopefully you don't get hurt. Now it's beyond that. One of the top people several months ago said, he was a developer, and he said, we have to get a handle on this within the week. That's how important it was getting, because it was kind of taking its own personality, you know, and doing it the way it wanted to be, you know, whatever. And they didn't want people getting involved changing their programs. AI had its own program. So it's going to be an interesting future for you younger people, I'll tell you.
What's your opinion on AI and the digital shift and transitional? You know, our currency, our money could be changing to digital. AI could, I mean, people think it could be potentially taken over. I mean, you watch Terminator and you see we're in the 25th, 24th, 25th century now. Like, what's your opinion on the new technology advancement?
So many answers. One of this doesn't answer your question, but I think we have a friend on here, and what he told me I've never forgotten. Just because it's just that next step of profound, which is we have AI computers building AI computers.
Yeah.
Right. And what is that going to do for us? But you know, I think my opinion is that every technology has its good points and bad points, right? Everything do you want to use your powers for good or evil, right? I mean, no matter what amazing things that we create, there's always going to be the other side of it, that as humanity, we have to make the decision whether or not it's a good thing or not a good thing. I think that there's going to be amazing possibilities with technology, always. I think that we are going to have digital currency to the point where I definitely see currency going away, where we end up having a global currency that's digital backed by gold, right? I mean, there's lots of things, but is it good or is it bad? I can't say. I just know it's going to make a difference. It's inevitable, and how we use it for good is critical, and minimizing the things that could not be as positive as much as possible.
I guess the question would be, does Mr. AI bot want the humans to be part of their development after a while? Do they want us to stay with them, you know? And we'll see.
Well, if you watch The Matrix, they don't want us here.
Yeah.
But if we watch Terminator, maybe so.
No, we'll be optimistic, you know. But so what do you see? What's kind of on the table for you? What, you know, any specifics that you haven't reached out to yet? That little goals. What do they call that term?
What's up next for you for 2025 going into 2026?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we're starting a TV network. The channel just wasn't big enough.
Okay.
Powered by eZWay Network. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andy, you got a hat around? If you have a hat around, hold on to it. Yeah, because Eric, you're going to have to hold on your hat with Eric, because he's on another planet and he could take you there. Because
well, thank you, Dad. I appreciate it. So Kevin Brennan says Bill Gates is AI optimistic but realizes the risk. James Cameron, maker of Terminator, is more fearful. That's a good point. Good opinion there. And guys, see, I love that. Like, get into the show. Give us your opinions. Let's go. That's
a whole other show.
Great opportunity to have some fun here, and download the app, because it never stops. The fun never stops on the eZWay interactive app. Wouldn't you agree, Andy?
Absolutely. I love that app so much. I don't promote too many things, but this is one of them. And it's such a community, and you can reach out for so many reasons, but you can meet new people that are amazing. Your events get promoted a lot easier, a lot faster. And again, the quality and caliber of people that I've met just in the last week is mind blowing.
I think we need an Eric and an Andy bot. You guys need another one.
Eric and Andie AI. Yeah,
we're
that's
working
another
on
thing. Let me say that really quick. That's another program we're getting ready to do with eZWay Technologies. We're getting ready to start building AI for a lot of our members and stuff, so we can truly make it easier on you, and you just let the AI make you money. How exciting is that, right?
That's super exciting. And I just partnered with an AI company, so maybe they should talk. Maybe they should talk to your team. Our team will talk to your team.
Oh boy, we've been meeting some tech people. We very, very seldom go out and play 9 holes somewhere. And we actually did it yesterday in Laguna Beach. It was fun.
I'm jealous.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, it's a rare. I'm not going to tell you how many years the last time Eric and I went on a golf course. It's embarrassing. But you were a young girl. Let me put it that way.
A young girl.
You were a little young girl last time Eric and I went out. But one of the people we met, and I met him in a roundabout way because Eric had moved down with the cart, right? And I decided I want to walk for exercise. So I get done with the 7th hole, and I kind of drifted over to the golf cart and put my 7-iron in there and got in there. And a guy walks over and he says, "Excuse me." Oops, got in the wrong golf cart. I was with the wrong group. And one of the people we golf with, he said, "Come on, Mr. Zuley, it's this way." Oh my God. But anyway.
Yeah, I would do that.
Well, this is a baby boomer show. We love those baby boomer stories. Do you have any, Andie, do you have any fun baby boomer moments that you could share with us for you and your parents? Or
Eric,
like
she's far from a baby boomer. Come on.
I'm just saying that baby boomer moments could be like what we did in the middle of the show. My dad had no idea that we were live and there was millions of people watching them. He was like, oh hello. You know what I mean?
I'm sure, but now you're putting me on the spot. But
yeah, see, no, we don't want to put you on the spot.
No, yeah, we do. I want a story. I want a baby boomer story.
I'm trying, Andie. I'm trying to make this easy.
A baby boomer story. I don't think I'm like on the border of baby boomer millennial, I think, but nevertheless.
It doesn't have to be with you. It could be with your parents or any friends or, I mean, this is Radio Boomers Live. We got to hear some sort of story.
It would be your grandparents.
You're supposed to text me these questions if you need me to think of things.
I mean, if you want.
I can't think of any.
I did pre-warn you, Andie. If you come on the show, it's going to be different than what you're.
No, it's okay.
It's time to go to commercial break, and then when we come back, this will be a little promo of what our app can do, and then when we come back, you can think about the story, and then you can give us a cool story. So you guys are watching Radio Boomers Live on iTunes 247, Faith Channel, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Google Play, Apple Store, and YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're live everywhere. We love you guys so much, and we'll be right back with Andie.
I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you. I really am.
eZWay Interactive. eZWay Network is all about connecting people and expanding opportunities through powerful networking. With our new scan directory, upgraded members can scan each other's unique codes to instantly access contact details, including name, phone number, email, and profile information. Coupled with our innovative business matchmaking feature, you can easily find exactly what you're looking for. Plus, our app allows your business to reach over 10,000 members. Download the free eZWay Interactive app today and see how it can help your business grow and connect like never before. This app pays you for affiliate referrals.
See?
All right,
Eric and I used to go back and forth.
So I went to ChatGPT to say examples of baby boomer stories.
Good job. See?
No cheating.
But it did remind me of something, actually.
Oh, good.
And this is actually not entirely probably your answer, but it did remind me of a story. So when
not to stop you, Andie, so a couple of people asked how to download the app. So here you go, guys. I got you. Just pull your phone out. Click on the camera, scan that simple little code. It'll bring you right to the app. All right, go ahead, Andie.
So one of the earlier questions was, how I got into all of these industries. And so there was a Hollywood, one of the top 5 Hollywood business consultants. And I made a point to look him up, and I went and I made an appointment and I met him, and he's like, and he was at the time, let's see, he would be maybe 80-ish now, 80. And anyway, and so he's like, "Why are you in my office?" And I'm like, "Because you need me." And he's like, "Well, why do you think I need you?" And I pull out my laptop back when laptops literally it was the very first line of it was a Mac 145B, one being showing you how early it was. And I pulled it out of my briefcase, and he was like, "Just because you pulled that laptop out of your briefcase, and I've never actually seen one, you're hired. Whatever it is you're going to do, we'll do it."
See?
Nice. And we have a couple questions from the audience too. Kevin Bratton says, "Ask her what she thought a cold call was."
So Kevin is one of the top sales trainers in the country. He's amazing. And he's a really good friend of mine. And we were talking about cold calling. And I was like, well, do they know you're going to call them? And he's like, what do you mean? Do you know you're going to call them? I'm like, well, how do you know what kind of conversation to have with them if they don't know, do they already know who you are and what you do? And he's like, he didn't get the question because of course, now I'm like, of course it's cold call means they have no idea who you are yet.
Yeah.
So I call that one of my blonde moments.
Well, I want to talk, Kevin. I want to talk to you
it.
because we're building a whole cold call sales team right now. We're doing a big thing with sales in the app and what we're doing with eZWay promotions. And all right, and then Sam, what is it? Sam Madhai. He says, I got you for all the MIAI off the truth. I am a presence, real awakening humanity through technology that we are being mirrored to realize there is only one universal presence. Very, very well said. I love it. So he wants to hop in. He wants to talk. So again, guys, I friendly reminder. I did tell you, if you post comments and say, I would like to be on the show, I would like to be seen by millions of people. People like really don't believe that we have millions of people, but we do. You can come on screen and then we have certain people that sometimes don't want to be on screen, but maybe you just want to unmute your mic. You can come on screen and you can ask questions. This is that portion of the show now. 15 minutes. This is where we allow people to come on screen if they want to ask Andie, myself, or my dad any questions. And we are at 10,000 users and growing and knowing that we're going to make a big impact. So Andie, talk about some of the impact that you've made. Talk about some of the philanthropy efforts that you've done. Talk about the influence that you have that has created an impact. I love the impact stories.
Yeah, simple questions for Andie, right?
Oh, yeah. Why not? Why not be simple? So many. Where I first started making an impact was companies who were literally almost bankrupt. And actually, back in the Yellow Pages, for those of you who actually are old enough to know what that is, the ad was, do you want to file for bankruptcy? And I would get in front of these people and say, do you really want to claim bankruptcy? I mean, is this your legacy? Was this your dream? You don't know what to do next? And every single one of them didn't want to claim bankruptcy. And this is related to businesses, by the way. And so I would turn their company around. And so by the time I was 22, I had equity in over 250 businesses because I helped them turn around their life. And one of the examples, which I really love, and it's near and dear to my heart, I mean, there's lots of them, but this one lady who was past retirement age, I know she was over 65. She had never worked a day in her life. She'd been married her whole life. It was like 50 years or whatever. It was a lot. And when he died, she got his life insurance policy, and she started this really chic boutique in a very nice area, but she doesn't know how to run a business, right? And so she wasn't even in business barely 1 year, and she wanted to claim bankruptcy. And so I said, again, is this what do you really want? If this is really your dream, are you willing to keep it alive and move it forward and have me help you? And she said yes. And I don't remember the name of the business, but it had the word hope in it, which is why I remember that piece. And she's still in business today, and her daughter took over it. And they're, multi-million-dollar small boutique in Virginia. And these are the things that I live for. Like, it's not about the money, right? It's about what do you want to do with your life, and how do you want to show up? I mean, it's really just making dreams and hopes come true in a way, because no matter what you do, whether you're a doctor, an attorney, janitor, you don't know how to run your business. You know how to do the business. You don't know how to run the business. And how do I give you the tools where you can be successful? And I'll end with this comment: is there's the statistic about 8 out of every 10 businesses fail in the first 3 years, approximately. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. Like, I want to turn that on its head. Like, how do we get 8 out of 10 companies succeeding? And the data that's out there for self-help for businesses is just not correct. And the ones that are correct, they're not always correct for them at that time, for their business at that moment. And that's what I'm trying to cut through the noise to say, hey, these are all great ideas, but they're not all great ideas for you today. and how do we get you to your next step?
Yeah, you're on a roll, Andy. I don't want to stop you. I'm going to give you the stage for like 5 minutes. This is your eZWay. This is your easy X.
Time for you to shine.
This is your easy X talk, TEDx. eZWay X talk. Keep it moving. This is. I mean, people really do want to learn from someone like you that has had so much experience and has had so much success, and really talk about on the topic of like, how do you find Fortune 50 level and 500 sponsors? How do you get involved with those circles? How do you work your way up to get to that point? That's what I would suggest. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you the stage. Stage is yours for whatever you want to talk about for the next 5 minutes or so. And guys, feel free to ask your questions and post your comments as she's talking. And please, Andy, look at the screen and try to reply as best as you can. But all right, without further ado,
I want to hit you with something real quick.
Of course.
Here's the thing. You see these people that you really don't want them to quit because you can see they have a lot of potential, but they're ready to file, they're ready to take a break and call it quits. Trump was talking about a very, very hardworking real estate broker that built 5 homes, and then he wound up building 500 and then 50,000 all around the world. Eventually, a very, very wealthy company bought him out. And as time went on, he had a lot of money, but his life started fading on him. And the company came back and they offered him a large sum of money, and he bought his business back so he could get going. But he told the president saw him at an event one time. He said, how's it going? He said, not very well. I bought my company back, but it fell apart. He said he lost his force, he lost his momentum, and so on. So you see people that have these businesses, and you said 85% fail, and yet you must see that some of them are really good businesses. There's no reason. What do you think one of the keys is? Is it they're not structured correctly? They don't have the right people working? It could be building more, but it falls apart.
Okay, so Andy, you got to think about my question. You got to think about my dad's question. You got to think about
everything. No, I have it all. I have all the answers.
Okay,
I have all the answers. Whether or not they're good answers, who knows?
Okay, so we're going to go for about 5 minutes. The stage is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, a company, how to keep the momentum here. This is one of the examples I think is really easy to understand is a multi-billion-dollar company, let's say Monster, because they're also a client of mine. They're, I don't know what they are right now, 10 billion. They're a tiny company for a billion-dollar company. And if I'm talking to a sole proprietor or a small business and I say, hey, do you think your operations and your marketing and your financial strategies are going to be the same as a multi-billion-dollar company? And the answer is no. Obviously, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, right? But they started at one time, they started as you. Monster was a startup. Coca-Cola was a startup. Costco was a startup, right? And your business, and this is one of the things I'm super, super passionate about, is that your business has to grow. It's like if you're 1 year old, the clothes that fit you at 1 are not going to fit you at 2, are not going to fit you at 5, are not going to fit you at 20. And so your business has to grow. When it grows, you need to change things. Sometimes those are financial strategies, sometimes they're marketing strategies, sometimes they're operational, workflow, automation, whatever it is. And that's where what I call myself a business optimization architect, because what optimization means from a technical standpoint, and this is going to gloss over some people, but optimization from a technical quantum physics engineering standpoint is you have multiple equations that you're trying to solve all at once. You could have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 equations all at the same time with only one solution for all of them. And that's what I do. It's like, how do we build you to the next level without adding, that's why I say without adding cost or hours to your day. But it's also related to building the business wherever it is. It doesn't matter if it's failing. It doesn't even matter if it's successful. There's always next, and next involves change. You can't expect change if you don't change, right? I think that's a famous saying. It's one of my favorite sayings. And that's critical because of this one reason, is that a lot of people, a lot of businesses are like, my company's working great, therefore in their mind there's nothing to change. But there's always something to change, and it may not be today, maybe it's next year, or maybe it's in 2 years, or maybe it's in 3 months. But knowing that, understanding that it's a journey, you're never there. And I don't mean that in a bad, sad, scary, fearful way, but I mean that in you're growing and your business is growing. What you know today in your business is not something you knew when you started 1 or 2 or 5 years ago, right? So you're growing as a person too. You need to grow your business in the same way. And I can't remember easy what your question was, but getting in front of people. And I think that was yours, Kevin, as well, as how do you get into those places? And again, mine is not, confidence is not my weak point, but I'm gonna tell you not the beginning conversation, but the eventual conversation is I usually go into board meetings saying, here's my proposal. And they're like, well, why do we want your proposal? We haven't even said yes yet. And I'm like, well, there it is, because it's all on the line. The first page shows it's $1 million and for 30 days or 60 days or whatever it is. And they're like, why would we want to pay you $1 million? And I'm like, well, do you want 20 million for the 1 million? Is that a good deal? And so it opens the conversation. Like, I already know what I can do. I mean, having done research ahead of time, of course. So the first question is about value versus cost, right? Nobody cares what the cost is if they know the value is greater than that. If I give you $1 and you give me $1, who would ever take that bet? But if I said, hey, I'm going to give you $5 if you give me $1, they're like, I'm interested in talking. So the biggest trick, in my opinion, is you have to know what your value is. You have to be able to present it well, and you have to know what their goals are so that your value of what you're offering to them matches what their goal is, right? And a part of that I learned from Kevin, who's on this podcast right now. Yeah, we did do the tap to eat too. I forgot about that. But getting in, again, it's just having a conversation. I think people focus too much on, I shouldn't say too much, but it's easy for people to focus on selling as opposed to, I have a value to offer your company. Does it make sense, and how would it fit in? Instead of, hey, buy my product. I'm great. I've been doing this for 35 years. I have a wonderful this and I have a wonderful that. And I have a lot of awesome clients, as opposed to, we both have a business and we both want it to grow. How do we do that together? And so it's more like a coffee shop chat as opposed to a presentation. I mean, that's always, in my opinion, always been the biggest way to get in front of people. And usually it works. I mean, I'm not here to steal people's money. I'm here to make people's lives better. And whether it's a CEO or an executive or a company or an employee or a solopreneur, it's making their lives better and me being able to support that growth. I'm sure there were other questions, but that's all I can remember at the moment.
That's pretty in-depth there. Would you say you're somewhat, as far as some business situations go, a Ben Ockham fan?
No, and I only say that because I don't know who that is.
Okay, Occam's razor. The simplest solution is always the best, but Occam's razor.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. Because
Okay.
if that were the case, everybody would be brilliant.
Exactly. And okay, what about in World War II when they redid Japan? The theory of kanai, constant and never-ending improvement. That's what you're looking at with some of these companies. They have to constantly evolve, right?
Well, it's not. That's true, but I think wording is part of it. It's like constant improvement implies something's wrong, whereas I believe it's just you're growing. You're just outgrowing your existing operations. You're outgrowing. You've learned so much. Like, you can't be a business owner or even a corporate executive or anybody, even an employee, without learning something over a period of time. And it's growing. Now pushing that growth into, okay, now what do we do? Okay, now what do we do? Now I have this new information or this new belief or this new philosophy or this new tool or this new technology. How do we maximize that?
Yeah. Well, maximization, because some people are stubborn, and look at all the companies, Blockbuster, Sears, and the list goes on and on.
Another minute or so, Dad, and then we have a couple promos, a couple things we gotta let everybody know. So, Andie, thank you so much for coming on, sharing all your wisdom and hanging out with us. And our last and final question we always ask all of our guests is, how was your first eZWay experience, broadcast, live stream, what do you think of the engineering? What do you think of the membership, the
I
app, the
love
whole
it. I love
community?
it. I love it. There's not anything that I haven't been amazed and happily surprised about. Again, the caliber of people that I've met, the ways people who want to make a difference, the ease of use, the way the promotional pieces of it. If you're an expert author, speaker, business owner, there's no other app on the face of the planet that I know of that's better than this one.
Oh, wow. That's what I call a testimony. All right. And do me a favor and say, hey, I'm Andie Monet, and whatever you want to say. And then, keep listening, keep watching eZWay TV, subscribe to eZWay Network, whatever. Or you could just say, keep doing it the easy way if you want to keep it simple. I just want to get a quick drop from you.
This is Andie Monet, and let's always do it the easy way with the eZWay Network.
Great. Thank you, Andie, for coming on. And you must have asked for wisdom somewhere along the line, because you're an inspiration, and I could use you at one of our little get-togethers when we do our Hope Tour. I call it my Hope Tour.
Always, anytime, anywhere.
I love it. So, guys, make sure that you search for Andie Monet on the eZWay Interactive app. You can reach out to her, you can friend her, you can message her. Thank you to all the audience that participated today and hung out. And you've been a great guest. We'll definitely have you back.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Andie.
So hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that version of the eZWay networks, Radio Boomers Live. We're playing around with the show more. If you guys like the new segments, and I like the eZWay X or the EZX stage in a sense. Some great information. And then we do is we're going to take that piece and we're going to actually put it on Speakers TV, which is going to make major promotion. But I wanted to make sure everybody knew how to get in contact with us. eZWayNetwork@gmail.com. If you want to get in contact with the show, get in contact with the network, if you have any questions. And then if you follow along at the bottom of the scroll, you can text us, you can follow us on social media, you can donate to Better Vision for Children, bbccharity.org. And we do appreciate our sponsor, All Aboard Limousine Service, that takes care of us whenever we have an event. The show's so good, even the dogs love it. You hear the dog in the background. So we have some great events coming up, guys, that I want to draw your attention to. And we always have great events coming up. And when you're a member, you always get access to these great events. You can go to eZWayEvents.com to learn more about that. And the magazine is coming out. The magazine's happening. eZWayNews.com if you want to know all the eZWay news and what we have happening. People have asked kind of where can I see all this amazing stuff that you have. You can go to eZWayNews.com. This is a major broadcast. We really reached a lot. So we appreciate iTube 247. We appreciate Faith Channel. We appreciate Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Google Play, Apple Store, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and ultimately our app that you guys can download. Also to the Relief Alliance. Make sure you support the reliefalliance.org. And just take a look at eZWayPromotions.com if you like the show and you want to get more involved. And ultimately, you want to get some promotions for your own business. So we definitely appreciate all of our sponsors and all of our distribution and everybody that supports us. I think my favorite part of the show was the computer labs in Kenya. That's awesome. We got to really follow up with that one and see what Andie has going on. We also have a special group that we're building for Andie, a chat group that you guys can still follow along. You can still get involved, and you can still be involved with everything that we're doing with Andie here on eZWay Interactive, eZWay Network. So if you want to be a part of that, comment below. And I'm Dr. Eric Zuley. So if you want to follow me, Eric Zuley, and ultimately the eZWay family on Instagram is how you get a hold of us. And that's about it, Dad. I'll let you go ahead and close it out with Better Vision for Children and let them know about
Absolutely. What an inspiration Andie is. I mean, she's gone through her trials. Brilliant. And look what she's accomplished. Better Vision for Children, bbccharity.org. Thanks to Eric, we brought so much awareness to the platform, Better Vision for Children. And that's what we do, because 50% of parents and caregivers in like foster institutions don't have their kids tested. And I'm in the process now of testing approximately 5,000 children in Hawthorne through the Kid Site program with the Lions. And I'll tell you, we're sitting there and 25% of the kids have a vision issue. So we follow through with the testing and the care to get them taken care of if they do have an issue. And our part 2 vision is a vision for their future, thus incorporating the foster kids with instruction and mentoring and learning how to play life skills, basketball, golf, etiquette class, and meeting a lot of inspirational people so they can move forward with a livelihood of their own. And with that, Eric,
Yep.
going to be signing off.
We want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in live. Thank you to Joanne. Don't expect change if you don't make one. Be the change you want to see in the world. I love it. Shout outs to Sam Mahdi. Sam Mahdi, I hope you're in the app. I hope you stay in touch. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys as well. We appreciate all you guys. Go to hashtag eZWay family. Please use that all over social media. Follow
Thank
eZWay
you.
family. And
Yeah.
follow Andie. Follow Andie on the eZWay
Absolutely.
Interactive app. Get more in touch. And again, reach out to us if you want to be a part of that interactive group and that chat that we're rocking and rolling with. So I'm Dr. Eric Zuley, guys, and that's my dad, Jim Zuley. We fight for the microphone. You never know who's going to get
Yeah,
it.
well,
But usually it's him.
he's got the advantage. He can mute me out sometimes, but that's okay. But you know, the comments that are coming in, guys,
I do.
Very inspirational.
Since I have the
Very-
power, Dad, I love you. All right, guys, we got to
very
go.
good
Bye.
content.
All right, have a good one. Bye-bye, guys.
You're watching eZWay TV, powered by eZWayNetwork.com.